Hello dear students, welcome to our program for science, third prep stage. Today we have the second part about hormones. It's good to see our lesson today. It's very interesting and very important to know the information about feedback. Let's go to see our lesson. Today we have the second part of hormones in human body, or we will talk about feedback. What's meant by feedback? What's meant by this concept? And what are the steps of this concept? Let's go to see. First of all, we have feedback mechanism. What's meant by feedback mechanism? Means here, feedback mechanism, it's from its words or from its name, it has automatic activity that happened in our body. So it is a mechanism with which the hormones act to achieve the homeostasis in human body. Again, we have feedback mechanism. It's the mechanism or automatic response inside our body that happened which by hormones to act to achieve the homeostasis in human body. To make what? To make controlling of the hormones and the activities in our bodies without anything. So without any control. But the control here that comes out from endocrine gland, the maestro of endocrine gland, that called what? That called pituitary gland, that found below the two hemispheres of the brain. After that, we have which of these parts of the body are involved in the feedback process that regulates the blood glucose. So here we have the glucose. Glucose, it is a type of sugar that found in our body and we need it to make activities. So this glucose is very important to our life, and the liver are all involved in regulating the blood glucose. What's meant by this? We have here pituitary gland. This pituitary gland is found here below the two hemispheres. So after that we have pancreas. So the pancreas here, it's the source of secretion or the source of insulin hormone, as we said before in the last session. After that we have the liver. So it makes what? It makes regulation, or it makes the regulation between or control system between the pituitary gland. So the three parts here, we have a regulation or control about them. Here, the first thing we have the first one, increase the blood glucose. It makes what? The brain detects the level of glucose in the blood. When the level of the blood glucose increases above the normal, what hormone does pancreas release? It's what? It's insulin hormone. If I increase, or if the glucose sugar increase in the blood, so we have an order that comes out from the brain to the pituitary gland to make what? To make secretion of insulin hormone from what? From the pancreas, and to make the decreasing of the glucose sugar in the blood and move it inside what? Inside the liver to store. So the insulin, it makes like this, and after that the pancreas stimulated to release insulin. So the insulin stimulates the liver to take glucose from the blood, or to take it and store inside to convert into glycogen. Glycogen, it means what? It means the type of sugar that it converted from glucose inside the liver to store it inside the liver. If I need, or my body need any part of this glycogen, so it makes the liver, it moves away or it moves out to the blood to increase the level of sugar. We have a mechanism, we have uncontrolled part or uncontrolled activity that happened in our body to protect our bodies from any increasing or decreasing of sugar. Why? Because this pancreas stimulates to release insulin. So the insulin stimulates the liver to take glucose from the blood and convert it into glycogen, which is stored in the liver in this form. form of glycogen. So the increasing of the blood glucose from the pituitary gland to the pancreas secreted insulin to make what? To make decreasing or converting the glucose sugar to glycogen that's stored inside the liver until we need it to make activity, until we need it to increase the energy inside. After that, we have the level of glucose in the blood decreases. This is the opposite one, or the opposite activity that's happened inside our body. If I make some activities, or most activities, like running, like swimming, like anything of these types of sports, what will happen? The energy of our body decrease in a lower level. So the level of glucose in the blood decrease due to the activities, due to exercises, due to any sporting during the day, until we move or walk in the street every morning. So it makes what? It makes decreasing of the level of the sugar or glucose sugar. What will happen first? So here the causing the pancreas to stop producing insulin. So the insulin, it's a type of hormone that produced by pancreas. If I have decreasing of the amount of sugar or glucose sugar in our blood, so the insulin stop to secrete. After that, we have increasing blood glucose. What will happen here? So the insulin, it's stop to what? To produce. But here we have the pituitary gland, it takes the order of what? Of this activity. We have decreasing now, we have decreasing of glucose sugar in the blood. What will happen? What does the pituitary gland takes place or secrete? What's happened here? So here the pituitary gland, it makes what? It makes a message or another message to the pancreas to secretes what? To secretes insulin. No, it secretes what? Secretes glucagon hormone. So the decreasing of the blood glucose, it has negative feedback also. Occurs when what? When the blood glucose level decreases below normal. So the normal stage or the normal level of the sugar, it's what? It's about 104. It's the normal. It's the number of the normal level of our body, of our glucose sugar in the blood. So this time of the brain detects decreasing the blood glucose. It takes order from the pituitary gland to make what? To make the secretion of what? Of glucagon hormone like this. Glucagon hormone that makes secreted, or it's secreted from pancreas to what? To the liver. So the liver, it makes what? It makes a production of the glucagon, by glucagon into what? Inside itself, okay, to produce or to release the glycogen type of sugar. So the glycogen that found in the liver that moves away to the blood to increase the level of the sugar inside the blood to make it active, to make the energy here. So the pancreas produces the hormone glucagon, the hormone glucagon of glucagon. So the glucagon stimulates the liver to convert glycogen back to glucose and release it, this glucose, into the bloodstream. Why? To make what? To make the activity many times or keep the activity of our body. So the level of glucose in the blood increases. So the causing the pancreas to stop production of glucagon. So here this is decreasing of blood glucose to the normal level or increasing of this one. So the glucagon stop to decrease, to secretes from what? From pancreas gland, and makes what? And makes the feedback complete about this thing. Now we have an exercise. The liver and the pancreas work together to regulate the level of blood glucose. Do you know how this organ work when the blood glucose is too low or too high? So here we have the high blood glucose. It makes what? It makes the glucose or insulin or glycogen or glucagon. So the first thing that's happened when I have high blood glucose, we have insulin. So the insulin here, it's found here. From what? From pancreas, and move inside the blood to reach what? To reach the liver here. So which one that changed which one? Here we have the glucose sugar change into what? Change into glycogen one. So this is what the high blood glucose or high blood sugar, okay, that have diabetes. Diabetes, it means a type of disease that, so the high blood glucose, it's secreted insulin to control this one. It's like the officer and the thief. Thief is what? Thief is the glucose. And we have the officer, it means insulin hormone that catch it and release, or that decrease its level into what? Into the normal level. After that, if I have blood glucose too low, what will happen here? So here we have the low blood glucose. Which one of the hormones that produced by pancreas? So here we have glucagon hormone, that's what? That's found here, and move it from pancreas to the blood. So the glucagon hormone, it moves very, very fast inside the blood to reach the liver. Which one that change inside liver and which one that move in the blood? Moves in the blood, we have what? We have glucose. To make what? To make the low blood glucose increase by glucose sugar. So here, this is the hormone that produced by what? By the liver, or that produced by what? By the pancreas to reach the liver. Glucagon, it reached the liver to change what? To change glycogen into what? Into glucose sugar. So the glucose, it's moved inside or convert here, the glycogen change into glucose inside liver, and it moves in the blood like this. Now we have an important video about some parts of our body. It's endocrine gland. Let's go to see this one and concentrate with me very well. Let's go. Now we have the endocrine system here. Endocrine system, it means what? It means some glands that has or that found to control our nervous system electric signal, and the endocrine system chemical signal that called hormones. So the development or metabolism or reproduction or mood of any one of this type of these liquids or chemical compounds that makes this change in our bodies. So we have, this is what? This is the signal in the tissue to perform. This is what? This is a part of the liquids here that's found in our body. This liquid control any part of what? Of our system or our activities. And we have the parathyroid gland, we have the pituitary gland, the first one in the last part or above or the top part, and we have thyroid gland, we have the parathyroid gland, and after that we have adrenal gland that found above the kidneys, and the pancreas gland that found here. So the testes, and we have ovaries for female, and we have the testes for male. After that we have these parts of glands that's responsible for controlling any part of our body here. So you explain what you in details. You will see our body has many small organs called glands, and these glands that make secretion of what? Of some kind of liquids to make this gland or to develop our body's activities or our body's mood. For example, we have here the pituitary gland. This pituitary gland, it is like the bee in its volume, in its mass. It's very, very important to know this one. It regulates all other glands and tissues. So it's called the master gland or the leader of any part of endocrine system. So it's It makes what? It makes controlling of this one. It's found in what? Found here below the brain, or it's located at the base of brain. Base of brain, it means below the brain. So it's responsible for many types. It's connected to the hypothalamus. Makes what? It makes which is turn and regulates any part of our body. Like what? Like this one. We have interbrain, and we have here this part that's called what? That's called pituitary gland. It makes the secretion, like shaking the hands. If you have, it's like the shaking hands, it makes this secretion of its hormones. We have what? We have many types of hormones that found in pituitary gland. So one of them that responsible for sexual part or the sexual characteristics of the body, male or female, and we have the regulation of some parts and release hormone directly through the posterior pituitary gland, and this one like this, okay, that move out from the glands without any type of tube, without any type of ducts. So the control the endocrine cells, okay, to make adrenal one. So it makes the regulation of the adrenal and endocrine cells to adrenal part. So here we have the pituitary gland has two loops or two parts, posterior lobe and anterior lobe. Anterior lobe, it means what? It means the inside part or the enter part inside what? Inside the pituitary gland to make what? To make the feeding. And the portal system that's feed this type of gland to make all activities of our body through what? Through the type of hormones that secreted by this gland. And after that we have releasing hormone, inhibiting hormone that's found here from what? From that's secreted by this type of glands that called pituitary gland. We have thyroid stimulating hormone that's found here, TSH. It means what? It means that move from pituitary gland directly to this thyroid gland to make what? To make this hormone, okay, and it makes some kind of the hormones to stimulating another type of glands to make the secretion of its hormones after a period of time. And here we have some kind of the stimulating hormone of what? Of the female or male to make what? To make these types of sexual parts or sexual characteristics of what? Of the female. So here we have the thyroid gland that comes out, that contains what? Contains some kind of parathyroid tumors, that contains, it has some kind of disease that's happened here. So this part we will talk about after a period of time. Today we have the diseases that happened in some kind of glands by decreasing or increasing the hormones here. So it makes what? It makes it traveling to activate the cell within the bones to make the strength of our bones, to make the calcitonin hormone and make strength of our bones and teeth. So the calcium in our blood increase or decrease, we have controlling system that makes control or calcium level that controls by what? By the thyroid gland and parathyroid gland. They are two types of glands that has what? That has very important function about what? About the high blood pressure, and we have the heart. If the calcium increases, it makes the high blood pressure, and it makes motion or the moving of our blood very fast to the brain, to the heart, or from heart to any part of our body like this. So another one, we have high calcium level that affect the brain. So to affect the brain, we have calcium of our nerves. It makes what? It makes damaging of our nervous, a slower nervous system, slower activity of nervous system by increasing the calcium, by increasing calcium inside what? Inside our bodies. Why? Because here we have some kind of levels of the calcium that affected negative, that has negative effect on our brain and nervous system. And we have the reflux disease that's happened here. So here, after that, we have another type of gland that called what? That called pancreas gland. That makes what? That makes these parts. The example of how parts of these or this system that worked considered as an aid of some kind of what? Of sugar. So the blood sugar increase in our bodies. But what is the controlling system of this? We have insulin. Insulin hormone that produced by pancreas. To make what? To make the pancreas increase production of insulin. So the chemicals of insulin cause the body cells to open and inside the liver to make what? To decrease the level of sugar and store it inside the liver. So this energy or this type of insulin hormone that converts sugar into glycogen for what? Inside the liver to make what? To make the pancreas to produce insulin to make this decreasing of the blood sugar. Blood sugar increase in our body, so it is very, very dangerous for our life. Why? Because sugar, it makes the high blood pressure, like the salt, like calcium salt. So the sugar of glycogen change into glycogen inside the liver. Until what? Until we need it to make activity in the morning or at night or any time of our bodies. So the blood sugar decreases by meaning of what? Of the insulin hormone. But in some kind of cases we have the food that we eat it inside our bodies. So digestive system that change food into what? Into glucose sugar, and this glucose sugar that move or absorbed by the small intestine of our bodies change into the blood, and after that if the sugar decrease or increase, we have a controlling system that makes what? That makes protection of our bodies from diabetes. Diabetes, it means a type of disease that's responsible for or that makes increasing of the sugar, glucose sugar inside our blood, and it's very dangerous for our life to make this one. So the pancreas is very important one to make the insulin or to release the insulin inside our blood to control the glucose sugar level inside our bodies. So we have here an exercise. We have how hot is your knowledge of the hormones. Let's go to see. Start the first one. What are hormones also known as? Known as chemical reaction or chemical changes or chemical messengers or chemical energy. So here this is what? Chemical messengers, right? Or chemical messages. After that we have another one. Which body system that involved to production of hormone? We have nervous system. No, don't talk about the nervous system. Endocrine system, it's maybe right. Digestive system, no. We have circulatory system, no, wrong. So the nervous system is wrong. And digestive system also wrong. But here we have endocrine, it's excellent. After that, we have the endocrine gland produce the hormones, insulin and the glucagon. Which one of the glands that produce this part? Thyroid gland? No. Pituitary? Maybe. But here we have pancreas. Pancreas, it's the gland that produce or has ability to produce hormones, insulin and the glucagon hormone. After that, which hormone don't ovaries produce? So which hormone do the ovaries produce? Which one? We have two types of hormones that produced or by released or secreted by ovaries. Which one? Estrogen and the progesterone. Excellent. Why? Because the insulin and the glucagon, they are secreted by the pancreas, and we saw it in the last question. So here we have estrogen and adrenaline. No, it's wrong. It's opposite to each other. So we have the testosterone, progesterone. They are completely wrong. So the first one is, or the right one is, estrogen and the progesterone. Next, we have number 5, which endocrine gland that's sometimes called the master gland. It's very easy to know. We have pituitary gland here. Excellent. So it's the master gland or the leader of these glands or endocrine gland because it's responsible for controlling each one of these glands. After that, next, we have the adrenaline. It's produced by adrenal gland, which the hormone also known as flight and flight, or right and fright, or night or day, or stun or run hormone. It's fight and flight. So here this is right. Why? Because it makes the adrenaline or the adrenaline hormone, it makes our bodies that's steady or ready to make any activity, hitting, running, swimming, anything to move away from the source of danger. So the adrenaline, it makes fight and flight. It makes what? This is the common name of this hormone that's called adrenaline. Next we have which organ that takes hormone from the blood when they know the longer need by the body. So here we have the brain, stomach, intestines or liver. Organ takes hormone from the blood when our no longer needs the body. So which one? We have liver. Yes, very good. Why? Because it is stored any one of these terms. We have next. Which part of the body involved to controlling the amount of glucose in the blood? Pancreas, liver and brain, pancreas and liver, or pancreas, liver and lungs, or brain, pancreas and lungs, and brain, liver and ovaries. Brain, liver and ovaries, this is completely wrong. So here we have the brain, pancreas and liver. Excellent. So here this is the right answer. Now we have another part of the endocrine glands. We have the disease that happened by decreasing or increasing the hormone secretion. So the hormone secretion here, it has increasing or decreasing. So we have some confusion that happened inside our body to make some dangerous diseases. What happened? We will see. The first here we have dwarfism. What's meant by dwarfism? Dwarfism, it is a disease. We have many diseases now. Disease that happened by decreasing the secretion of growth hormone. Growth hormone if decrease, so our body don't make any growing through the time or during time. So the growth hormone decreases, so in the early stages of human age. So here we have this one, or this pituitary gland cannot make any secretion or decrease the secretion of growth hormone, so we have dwarfism. Dwarfism, we have dwarf person. That's called what? That's called the short person, but it has high, or it has what? It has large days to live. After that, we have the opposite of this one that called giantism. Giantism, it makes a disease that's happened by increasing the secretion of the growth hormone in the early stages of the human age. Here we have a person in this picture. We have the longest person in our planet, and we have the shortest person in our planet. So here we have, this is the long one or the longest one because it has giantism disease. Each one of them, it makes the age of the person, it's lower than the normal stage. Why? Because we have decreasing or increasing in the pituitary gland, the master gland of our bodies. After that, we have another type of disease that called simple goiter. Simple goiter, it means it's a disease that's happened by decreasing the secretion of thyroxine hormone. Thyroxine hormone that's found in the normal one of the thyroid gland. But here, if I have simple goiter, it makes what? It makes our eyes, it's opened. It's open like this. In this picture here, we have this is open like this, and you have some disease. It's Graves' disease. Is a common cause by what? By this exophthalmos. Dear friends, I hope to enjoy your time with us. Till we meet again in another part of revision about what? About Unit 4 and about all parts of the curriculum. Till we meet again, thank you and goodbye everybody.